Hey everyone, it's Courtney. I'm here with another WIP update. I guess this is my August WIP update. We're coming up to the end of August now, and that means also that it's time to celebrate my 1 year Flossiversary. It was a year ago, August 22nd, I think, that I put my first Floss video up on YouTube, so hooray! It's been a year. I've averaged over a video a month, which I'm pretty happy with. I'm really grateful for all of you going on the journey with me and paying attention while I document all of my progress on these crafts. I think it's really fun that you're interested and that you want to watch. So without further ado, I'll show you what I've been working on lately. It's going to be sort of out of order, I guess. Just whatever I pick up next is what I'll show you. This one is Gingerbread Village. This one is pretty exciting because I'm very close to a finish on this one. As close as I possibly can be at this moment. And I mean really as close as I can be. Here's where I am. This is almost completely done. Yay! As you can see, I have only one cottage left to stitch down here in the bottom corner. And that cottage, I don't believe has been released yet. If it has, it's not arrived at my local needleworks shop, because as soon as I get the email that it's there, I'm going to go pick it up and stitch it so that I can finish this. But the design has been announced and is now, like, there's a picture of it now on the Country Cottage Needleworks Facebook page, so it's not a mystery anymore. I know exactly how it's going to look. It's very cute, and I'm just about done. Yeah, so you can see that I really went as far as I possibly could on this design. The border is repetitive, and so I knew exactly what that was going to look like on the last house, so I went ahead and I did that. And every single house so far has had at least 2 full rows of white stitches at the bottom for the snowbank, so I thought I could count on that. And seeing the new design, turns out that I can. And I knew that there was going to be a snowman, or not a snowman, a gingerbread man over here to balance out the gingerbread girl on this side. So I've already seen him, up here, so I knew exactly how to stitch him, so I went ahead and did that too. Everything that I knew how to do without the pattern, I went ahead and did. We're getting a visit from the kitty cat. I hope she doesn't knock the camera down. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, as soon as I get the next pattern, I'm sure I can finish the last house in a day or two, and I will just, after that I just have to stitch on the buttons and then figure out a way to frame this thing, this ginormous thing. So, yes. I'm very pleased with this one. I made a lot of progress. And it feels good to be caught up on a stitch along, for sure. What are you doing? Huh? She likes holes. So anytime you open your mouth, she'll like look in there. I guess make sure you don't need any dental work. Sorry, this is not going in very well. Got it now. Okay. Next, what's next? What's this one? I've worked on pretty much everything. I think except this one. I think I haven't worked on this one. This is my other Christmas village, Santa's village. I think this is where it was the last time you saw it, but I'll show you anyway. I'm exactly halfway done on this. I've done 6 out of the 12 houses. It's adorable, but I kind of got caught up in the excitement of the releases of the gingerbread houses, so I was focusing more on that one than on this one. But this will definitely go back and get some love, possibly more during the holidays now that they're about to come up. So, yeah, nothing new to report here, but it looks great, as always. We'll just go ahead and put that away. That's also by Country Cottage Needleworks. I believe there will be another annual stitch along. I hope there is. I feel like I heard that news somewhere. Have you guys heard that? Whether Country Cottage Needleworks is going to do another annual stitch along next year? If it is, I kind of hope it's not a Christmas one. I don't know if I need any more Christmas villages. I mentioned that to my husband, though. There would probably be another village stitch along, and he said she should really do another annual stitch along, but like with a different holiday. Like an Easter village, or 4th of July village, or a Thanksgiving village or something. Because he thinks it's kind of goofy that when these things get framed, they'll only hang in our house for a month or two around the Christmas season. And he thinks we'll need to replace them with something. So I thought that was a great idea, and I would probably stitch them if she did something like that. Alright, what's next? I think I know which one this is. Yeah, this is my Mirabilia, Sleeping Princess, and I've made a good bit of progress on her. Check her out. Sorry, I don't know if you heard my cat tear across the room. Usually she's a lot sleepier than this, but she's being pretty energetic this afternoon. Anyway, this is my Sleeping Princess. I've finished the entirety of her the green part of her nightgown. As you can see, the gown is not totally done. Besides the beads, there's actually still like a tail over here. I'll show you on the picture. Right there. But it's sort of a different set of colors, and so I went ahead and finished out just the bright green, the main body of the dress, and I'll sort of continue this in sections, I suppose. I've been working off and on her skin. 1/1 is tedious. Everybody says that, but I have also found that to be true. But worth it, I think. I like the way it's coming out. But it is kind of frustrating because this pattern, probably like many Mirabilia and Nora Corbett ladies, has several blended threads, where if you're stitching with 2 threads over 2 or 2/1 on Ada or something, you take 2 different threads, like 2 different colors, one thread each of 2 different colors, and you blend them together and stitch with that. And it really helps with the shading of the design, which I think matters a lot on her skin, on her face. And since I'm stitching that 1/1, I haven't really found a good way to mimic the effect of the blended threads. So I've heard some people say you can stitch one leg of the X with one color and then go back the other direction doing the top leg in the other color. And so that's what I'm doing, but I think it's kind of useless because this is 1/1 on, I think, 32 count, and the bottom leg just doesn't show up very much at all. Like the top leg alone gets pretty good coverage, and so I think maybe her skin coloring is looking blockier than it's really supposed to. I think it should be a more subtle transition that I would be able to achieve using the blended threads that I'm sort of struggling with doing 1/1. Feel free to leave any comments you have about that. Although it's probably too late on her to change my method, so I'll just go forward with this. But I will probably do another memorabilia in the future, maybe far in the future. So I would certainly be open to changing my methods in order to come out with a final product that looks better. So yes, isn't she lovely? Another exciting thing that's happened since my last video is that I had a stitching get-together with some of the other San Antonio area stitchers, including Lucretia and Sherry Burkett and Lindsay and Heidi, and they're the sister stitchers. And also Tracy was there. She doesn't do YouTube videos, but she came with us anyway. And we met someone named Donna. Hi Donna, I know you watch. In the store, who didn't know that we were going to be there, and she was surprised to see us there, and she recognized all of us who did YouTube videos, and she was like, you guys keep me company while I stitch. So that was really fun. We have a fan. One fan. Just kidding. It was really delightful. Anyway, we sat there at Stitches from the Heart at their stitching tables for several hours, and it flew by. And this was the piece that I brought that day to work on. So made some really good progress that day, and so did the other ladies, especially the ones with young kids. Lindsay and Heidi have young kids, so I imagine that with babies it's tough sometimes to get a good, uninterrupted length of time. Yeah, so that was a really delightful day. It was my first time actually hanging out at the Stitches from the Heart store, like, to cross stitch. I'd always just sort of, I've never really been in and out of there because I always browse for a really long time, but I come in and I shop and browse, and I get my shopping done and I leave. I've never actually stayed until a couple weeks ago, so that was pretty fun. My Heaven and Earth. Got a little bit of progress to show you on this, but just a little bit. I am participating in the challenges that the new official Heaven and Earth Designs Facebook group is hosting this year. And this challenge is to do a full page with the parking technique, but working across in rows instead of down in columns. So I've made a start on that. I wanted kind of a clean start. I didn't want to navigate these parked threads and waist knots up here on this particular challenge, so I started down one page. And that's pretty fun because I got to get going on some of these bright colors in the dresses that are hanging there in Dressmaker's Shop. Because that's what this design is called. This is Dressmaker's Shop by Tula Berger, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Yeah, so I've done 2,000, well, no, probably not 2,000. That's, I think, 80 stitches across. Probably about 1,600 stitches so far on this page. 2 rows, 2 full rows, and I've got almost 10 to do, but the challenge deadline isn't till October 15th or something, so I've got plenty of time still on this. But my husband and I took some vacation this summer. We had a full week off, and I did most of this during our vacation time. Just really was able to crank it out. Yep. It's looking good. This area is pretty confetti heavy. And so it was kind of annoying because when I was working in columns, like I would thread my needle, like do a single square and get all the colors in there and then park them below, then pick them up again and work my way down the whole column. But this time, like the colors don't carry, so I have to thread all of the colors in, start all the colors for the top box, park them below, then go to the next box and start all of those colors and park them below. So I was doing a lot of needle threading in this first row or two. Now that I've got all of these parked threads, that will hopefully not be so annoying. But I didn't really like that very much about working in columns. I would maybe rather work in, or sorry, I didn't like that about working in rows. I would rather work in columns where I can do most of my setup and then work with threads that I have all the way down the column. But so yeah, I am enjoying the challenge just fine, but I'll probably switch back to my regular parking method of working in columns when it's over. Got a couple more things to show you, so. One of them is the one that's on my frame currently that I've been working on the last couple of evenings. And that is my Sing a Sampler project by Silver Creek Samplers. This one has a Sound of Music theme, as you can see. And I've got 4 boxes completely finished and a solid start on 2 more. So I feel like I'm really flying through this one. And it's a super fun stitch. I'm loving the colors, which I'm using mostly the charted colors with only a couple of substitutions. One of the substitutions is this light green in the grass in the me block. The one that I think I told you in my last video that I wasn't happy with chamomile, which is the color that was charted. I thought it was too brown, like a grayish brown, and it looked like dead grass to me. So I returned that and I picked out a color called Green Apple, which is also from Gentle Art Sampler Threads. I was very happy with the effect of that. I decided to stitch that vertically so that the variation in the colors would maybe look like individual blades of grass. I don't know, that sort of came out the way it came out. Then I'm using gassed cucumber as the darker green in this design, and I have not used that anywhere yet except to stitch my name in the me block, but I've covered that up for privacy. Please don't say that's silly. I know a lot of you already know my name anyway, but this is YouTube after all. So cucumber will appear elsewhere, I think in the 2 dough blocks as well, and I will show you those. What a rat's nest. Don't look. Here they are. Gentle Art Green Apple and Gentle Art Cucumber. So these are much greener than the 2 that I had before, which are Chamomile and Deep Forest. Yep, so I think that's the only color substitution that I've made in this particular design so far. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very happy with this. I think it's really fun. I like it a lot. You can see my needle stuck in the fabric. I actually sort of took the plunge and ordered 2 needle binders. I'm excited to show you them, but they are not here yet. I actually ordered them through Stitches from the Heart, so they're gonna call me when they get in, just like they do for the Gingerbread Village. Yep. So that's this one. Maybe that will be a finish in the not too distant future as well. Yeah, we're getting close to the finish line on Gingerbread Village and on this sampler. Well, at least we're over halfway on that sampler. I do still have the entire bottom border to do, but it's flying, so. I think my last WIP to show is my angel ornament, which I haven't done a whole lot on. But a little bit. Here's my progress on her. Don't ask me what's going on here. I mean, you can. This brown thread, I was starting to stitch the outline of her nose and her eyes, the back stitch, and then I realized I couldn't continue because I was missing these 3 stitches here and on the other side of her face, and also at the top of her neck are supposed to be DMC 3773, I think, and I realized I didn't have that color, which is a very silly problem for me to have at this point in my cross-stitching career, I guess. But yeah, I didn't have that, and so I didn't want to stitch the back stitching over that area yet, so I just wound up the thread and left it there. But I did go ahead and buy some sparkly floss. I actually settled on Petite Treasure Braid. I did buy the called for Krenix first. Ahsoka, no, don't do that. I bought the called for Krenix first, and I actually didn't even stitch anything with them before I decided I would rather try Petite Treasure Braid, just because I think that's maybe a better investment for my stash, something I'd be more likely to use again. And I've never used either, but anecdotally I hear people say that they've been happier with how Petite Treasure Braid stitches up and how it feels being pulled through. So I went ahead and bought some. I returned the Krennic and bought the Petite Treasure Braid, which ended up being cheaper. I don't know if it's cheaper by the yard, but with a project this small, it doesn't really matter, does it? When you're not going to get even close to finishing the skein anyway. So here are those. Aren't they gorgeous? Gorgeous. In case you're wondering, I can tell you which ones they are, in case you want to use this as a conversion. I replaced these were all supposed to be Krennic Fine Braid number 8, and I replaced 3202 with this one, PB25. The Krennic was called Cat's Eye. And this is the only one that I sort of hesitated about, but I went ahead with it anyway. You can see on her, it's here in her hair, and it really does not look as nearly as yellow as the DMC that's charted for her hair. So that wasn't quite a match. This one looks a lot more pink. And I might have gone with something gold in the store if I had, I don't know, realized that at the time. But I stitched it anyway, and I think it looks alright. And most of it is going to be covered anyway by all of the hair that she will have eventually. So I just went ahead with that. PB25. The Krennic 061 Ruby I replaced with this one, PH07. So PB means it's regular petite treasure braid, and PH means it's petite high gloss. So if you kind of compare this one, this red is PB07, which I'm replacing the Krennic 003, the red with. And I don't know, it's probably going to be hard to tell on the camera, but when you look at the way the light shines on the dark red, it's a lot glossier than the bright red is. So I don't know if you'll be able to tell that. And then these three greens are for her eyes and for the wreath that she holds. And they are supposed to be Krennic 015, 008, and 085. And I replaced them with PB52, PH06, so this is also a high gloss, and PB20. This one I was also a little bit regretful about because the Krennic of this is really cool. It's a dark teal green base, but it has lots of sort of rainbow colored flecks in it, and it's called Peacock. And that does look really cool. And this does not have nearly as many sort of hidden colors in it as the Krennic did. So that one is different enough that it might be worth buying if you really like that effect. But I was happy with the way that these three looked when they were all next to each other, so I went ahead with that. And like I said, they were cheaper than the Krennics. So in absolute terms, probably not cheaper by the yard. I also bought some white perforated paper, and I got started on stitching her wreath. She holds it down here. Very meager start, but I wanted to start using the petite treasure braid. So anyway, making good progress on her. I've got a couple more trips coming up. I've booked my tickets for Thanksgiving. Gonna go see my family. Hi, Mom. And so I'll probably stitch a little bit while traveling on that trip. And otherwise I'll just kind of push through to the end on her so that I can hang her on my tree this year. That's it for WIPs, but I will show you a couple of things that I've bought. Okay, so the day of my meetup at Stitches from the Heart was actually a really super fun day, not just because of seeing other people who love to cross stitch, but also because I did quite a bit of shopping while I was there, and it was kind of a complicated transaction because I had several things to return, including those Krennics that I bought, the two greens that I wasn't happy with for Sing a Sampler, and another hand-dyed floss that I didn't end up needing. And I also had my $15 credit to use at the store, which they, like at Stitches from the Heart, they give you $15 off your next purchase when you have spent $150 at the store. So it's sort of like 10% off, roughly, after the fact. And so the time before last that I was at the store, I had passed another 150 mark. Miraculously. I don't know how I spend so much money on this stuff. It's only like my second time getting the credit though. And yeah, so I got a lot of stuff for not very much money. Like I said, I exchanged my Krennics for these. I exchanged the two green flosses that I wasn't happy with for the two greens that I was for Sing a Sampler. I picked up a couple of more hand-dyed flosses. Bean Sprout I'm going to need to finish the Gingerbread Village when I get the last pattern. I'm close. I'm at the very end of the last skein, but I didn't think it was going to be enough, so I want to be able to stitch that one as soon as I can pick it up, so I just grabbed that. I grabbed 2 weeks threads for a mystery project that I'm going to show you in a second. This is Weeks Dye Works Ocean is the blue, and Bullfrog is the green. Aren't those gorgeous? So gorgeous. I love them. I also bought this button, which is for Gingerbread Village. I already have one of these. It goes on one of the houses in the top row. I think it's the second house in. And I changed the design because I thought I would like it better to have 2 of these tiny buttons on there instead of just the one. It was going to be more symmetrical. I will show you when I finally do stitch this on. But I needed this in order to be able to fully finish Gingerbread Village, so I went ahead and bought that too. I also bought 2, I think this might be the last 2 Santa's Village houses that I did not have yet. My mom bought most of them for me for Christmas this past year. But there were a couple that I was missing, so I went ahead and I bought Hot Cocoa Cafe and the stocking, Santa's stocking store. And they each came with a button. And I bought Gentle Art Baked Clay, which is the hand-dyed for the Hot Cocoa Cafe. And then, the more exciting one, it's little, but I think it's exciting, is my first Lizzie Kate design, which is Keep Our Air Clean. And this is just one part of a multi-part series, which actually is pictured on the back, which I'll show you because eventually I'm going to do this. It's just got a bunch of like little eco-friendly and responsible sayings on the back, and I think this is really adorable. I love it. It's got plant a tree, ride a bike, be kind to animals, keep our air clean, eat locally, and save water. And at the bottom it says, be well, live peaceably with the earth. And I love it. I think that's so cute. So, I just picked this up because I knew I wasn't going to be spending very much, what with all of my returns and my credit. And so I added this and these to my order. And all of those things I just described, when you actually cashed it all out, I spent $7 at Stitches from the Heart that day, which I felt like I was robbing the bank. It was such a steal. So, yeah, so these 2 are for this Lizzie Kate design, and I am very excited to start this. It's very similar in style to the Sing a Sampler, and so I'll probably wait to start this until after I've finished Sing a Sampler, and it will take that one's place on the scroll frames. So that gives me a little bit of time to get fabric for this. Tell me what color you think I should stitch this design on, because I can't decide. I don't really want to do brown. I might do brown. That's what is pictured. I feel like if I did green, there might be too much green. So I don't know. Leave your opinions down below. Hopefully I'll find something good. Yeah, so that's it. I think that's it for all my WIPs. Bunch of purchases. Oh yeah, I was going to show you guys these 2. I bought these floss boxes. Well, for me they're floss boxes. For everyone else they're photo boxes. At Hobby Lobby the other day. Actually several weeks ago now. Because they were on sale. There was a half-off sign at the photo storage section at Hobby Lobby. And so these are normally $4 and they were $1.98, I think, when I went and bought them. So that was like awesome. And my idea is eventually to store my hand-dyed flosses in these boxes. As you can see, I have not started yet because they are still in their shrink wrap. But eventually I will fill these with hand-dyed flosses from various makers, and I can put here in this window what dye or, you know, what brand they are. And I don't have nearly enough hand-dyed floss to fill these up right now, but it's a growing collection, and I thought might as well buy 3 sort of complimentary ones while they had them there, and they matched. But I'm pretty sure that this Paper Studio brand is like always going to be at Hobby Lobby. So we'll see. But aren't they cute? I love them. It will help me take care of this horrible rat's nest. Doesn't this make you want to cringe? This is my project bag for Santa Sampler. Eventually these will get all put probably in their own floss away bags or something similar. And they'll live a much nicer life than they do right now in the bag. I just haven't got around to it yet. And they're all in active use because that's the one that's actually on my scroll frame right now. So anyway, I'll show you my storage solution another time whenever I actually figure that out. Yeah, so that really is it now. I'm delighted that you've been watching this. I hope you got some good stitching done in the meantime. I will see you next time for the beginning of another year of videos about cross stitch and my projects. So thank you very much for watching, liking, and subscribing. I will talk to you in the comments. Bye.